Hello, quick follow-up video today. Do you remember the little iFlight 77R, the little indoor racer quad? Well, a couple of people asked me about how's it fly without the prop guards? Because if you remember, the prop guards weren't an integral part of the frame like they are on many whoops. So, we've taken them off, and this is what it looks like. Absolutely looks diddy, doesn't it? But I have to say, cute as it looks, there's a slight out of proportion about it. I tend to think the frame looks a little bit wide for the sort of size of the arms. It feels like the arms should be slightly bigger and it should have bigger props. And you kind of understand how, as a whoop, you know, it's tough to get that amount of power out of it when it's like quite heavy and it's got this. Anyway, the prop guards weren't a big part of it, but it'd be interesting to see how this flies. I've just got the standard 300 milliamp hour high voltage 3S battery on. So we'll give it a bit of a rip up and down here and see how it feels.
Right. Off we go then, let's see how this does. And the answer is very quickly that it kind of feels the same. I still am not a big fan of the video quality I get through this. Again, it doesn't show up that well in the recording, but whenever I look in the goggles from this iFlight 77, I'm thinking something looks sort of a bit mosaicked or pixelated. There's something not quite right about the feed that I don't like. The quad itself is flying quite reasonably. There's a little bit of shake on the camera, but of course this thing is tiny, and we're pushing it through wind and breeze and all sorts. So you know, an amount of that is going to happen. We're giving it you know, a reasonable amount of throttle, and it is eating up the LiPo. You see we're down to 10.3 already. It's fair to say that these batteries aren't in great condition after I keep murdering them with these little quads. But even so, I think it's a lack of efficiency in this. It's like tiny little props, quite a big body, and you know, it's not the lightest frame ever. But you know, it does okay. I just don't know if it's worth actually transforming the quad over just to do this, because it's not that different. To do it, you will need slightly different screws. You'll need M2 3mm screws to replace the ones that were holding the prop guards as well, because that's obviously a bit thicker. Now, if you remember, every time I flew this in the previous review, I crashed it almost every flight without fail. And just to round up the flight, I decided to keep with tradition and bash it into a bush. No damage there, and it would happily fly again. Same battery, nothing to do with the props. But yeah, it's, you know, it flies okay, and it flew okay before. I don't know if I would bother changing it. That's down to you guys. But there you go. That's my little test for the day. I hope that was useful, and really I think I should have just gone with the crash into the bush rather than this landing, because this landing was worse in my opinion. Catch you in the next video. Bye for now. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.